Alrighty, give this a second, make sure my audio is working. Load up. Of course, I have to watch audio or watch, ads on my own video. Hold on. Alright, so that's working. Alright, so I went ahead and did, I've been working on it for a little while, but I got my Arnold Schwarzenegger model. I had a 224 I did like months and months and months ago, and when I first started doing some of this stuff, it was never that good. And so I went ahead and recycled my the model I've been, some of the model files I've been doing the 320 resolution, and so we should be able to enjoy this new version here. So I'll go ahead and enable that, and I think it turned out pretty good. Like the teeth on it are really clean. Like the eyebrows even look like you can kind of see some of his individual hairs in the other side. Like some of the hairs are a little bit more evident. But yeah, like the facial expressions are good. Like all the angles are pretty well covered. This was never that big of a face set, but it's really pretty good. Like I pulled it from a bunch of different, like Total Recall, and some of it I think was from Predator and Kindergarten Cop, and all the good stuff from that era. But this is back again. I made this face set, was one of the first sets I made. Really was Arnold, and so I probably could go add some more to it at some point, but it seems like it works pretty well. Like I said, it covers everything pretty good. And it even has some different colors in the face set, like red and blue from Total Recall. Like there's the scene he's riding on that train on Mars, and some of the, excuse me, there's like, red lighting and lighting from the red Martian rock and so forth. And so it works pretty well in a lot of different lighting conditions. But of course, I have to switch the voice when I do Arnold. It's required for professionalism. So I hope you like the new voice, and I hope you like the new model. Hope everybody is doing well this evening. For those of you who are watching, how are you? It's good to see you. I was going to do something with the background to have like a gym or something. I can't get I hate virtual camera. It does not work very well. I'm too stupid to figure it out, I guess, because I tried for many moments to get it to work, and it was not cooperating. And I said, screw it. I didn't like it. It's bullshit, all of it. Virtual camera I don't like. It's like you have to use that, and then NVIDIA broadcast software, and then also the OBS, and between the three of them it's like you always get the black screen or a gray screen, or something doesn't work. And I was just trying to do a background replacement, and I gave up after like 30 minutes because it wasn't cooperating. It makes me feel like I'm an idiot, but maybe I'm not the idiot. Maybe you are not you are me. I don't know. Anyways, hope everyone is doing well. Other videos, I'm still working on the Tron video. I have Gal Gadot. She's playing Cora in Tron Legacy, and then Heath Ledger is in there as Sam Flynn. I haven't actually added him yet. I'm going to do that next. I'm trying to do. There is like the really attractive looking the woman towards the beginning when he put on his armor suit. There's like the 4 women that come out and put on his armor, and the one of them has kind of white blonde hair. And I'm trying to turn that into Kate Blanchett because it's hilarious if Galadriel was also in Tron in the grid. And then, like I say, I'll be doing Heath Ledger as Sam, the main character, alongside of Cora. And then, who else is it? I don't know who I want to use yet, but there's the guy who runs the nightclub who kills a bunch of people, and he's working with Clue. And I was going to make him into somebody else, maybe Edward Norton or Carl Urban or something like that. Whatever, it would be funny. Who cares? Just to put more people into the show. One of the things about it that is kind of interesting is that there's always a lot of blue light in the show. Like wherever they're at, everything has kind of a soft whitish blue color to it, and it gives the skin a tint, and it makes it harder for Deepfacelab to learn it for some reason, so it takes longer. I've had to go back to random warp and a lot of models to get them to learn it and work. It's very strange, but it's good because it is teaching the model new things, and then the next time it will not be so hard to do it. So Tron video is coming along, and what else am I doing? I will probably put Arnold in something again. I haven't done it in quite a while with him. I'll switch back to my normal voice. I don't think that you can run this without a dedicated GPU? No. Almost certainly not. It doesn't even run that well. Like low resolution models, even then, still need something like a GTX 1050 with like I think 4 gigs of memory is about, like dedicated video memory is about the minimum. Like integrated cards, I could try it. I've actually got I've a mini PC with like the Intel Iris Xe built in, which is a pretty good integrated card as those go. But so I could try running it on that and see how it handles it. But I have a feeling not very well. Like I see, you've got to have the dedicated memory really, and usually AMD cards work with it well enough too. But you need something with at least probably 4 gigs, and probably better to have 8 gigs of video memory. So sorry. This model especially is 320 resolution. It definitely needs more video memory. I had a guy I did, yeah, sorry. I had a model I did for a guy. We tried it at 320 first because he didn't tell me what hardware he had, and it wouldn't even load. And we had to go back and restart and do it at 224 instead. And even that would barely work, but he had 4 gigs of memory and video memory, and that was just enough for it to barely run. So unfortunately, use a lot of video memory. Other things I'm doing, what am I doing? Somebody wants me to do The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So I will be starting on that. Probably, it's kind of getting later today. This took longer to screw around with. Like I said, I was trying to get the background to work, and finally I got tired of screwing with it. But I will try to do Dwayne The Rock Johnson here very soon. Maybe tomorrow I will start on that tomorrow night, and maybe it will be done by this weekend. And that's a popular one. He's in the new movie Black Adam that is coming out here soon. And, you know, it'll be fun to screw around with, especially if I'm able to get an RTX 4090 video card soon. Those come out tomorrow. I will try to get the MSI Supreme Edition, Supreme Power. You see, I thought the Supreme Muscles to use the video card of that size in your computer. But it is the Supreme Edition with the all-in-one 240 millimeter, you know, water cooling solution. That is what I'm going to try to get to put in with my i9 12900K, and then I will be able to hopefully, we'll have to see if it'll even work with Deepfacelab, because when the RTX 3000 series was launched, they did not work with it initially, and it had to be solved by screwing around with the Python code for many days. It wasn't even my job, and I sort of got it working, but it was mostly through trial and error. I'm not a developer, I don't know how to do this. Eventually there was an official release put out, and it solved the problems, and now it works, of course. So it may be a while before I can use the 4090 to make deepfakes. I don't know, but I can definitely try some gaming on it, of course, and do some benchmarks. Supposedly the cards are very, very fast. I've seen results posted from Bitwit recently where he paired it up with a AMD Ryzen 7950X. It was very fast. It was getting like 180 frames a second in Cyberpunk with the DLSS 3.0. Very powerful card with very much muscle. It's very strong, this card. So we will have to get one if we can do it. But they're very expensive, and I'll probably only be able to get one and then not get another for a long time if I even get the second one. So probably do that, and then I will keep my RTX 3090 Ti and my RTX A6000, and I will try to sell my 3090 probably. I don't know if I want to sell it because EVGA is not making GPUs anymore. It is the Kingpin edition, and some people, I don't know if it will be collectible. I don't know if it is a stupid thing to wonder about, but it is, you know, the last Kingpin edition card that they made before they stopped making cards. So it might have some value. I don't know. I've been looking at eBay trying to find inexpensive older Kingpin edition cards like the GTX 750 Ti, the classified edition, etc. But people are not selling them for very cheap. They still want $300 for a card from like 15 years ago. So I'm not going to do that. I don't have money coming out of my ears. I'm not rich. I'm just reasonably well to do. So that is not working. The other model that I've done for you, I'll go back to my normal voice now. The only other model I've been working on, which I'll go ahead and upload tonight too. We already did Kate Blanchett before, but since I've been screwing around with trying to put her into Tron, and maybe use her for another Galadriel video, I went ahead and made a 352 res version of Kate. The other one we had up there was already 320, so this isn't like a huge change. Give it a second, it's going to freeze up. And let me up that real quick. The teeth and stuff are pretty good. It definitely kind of whips on your system. Like I'm only getting like 17 frames a second right now. That's another thing I'm hoping for is when the 4090 comes out, stuff like this will hopefully get a pretty substantial boost in frame rate. This is again the A6000. It probably run a little bit better with my 12900K 3090 Ti. Those are actually slightly faster. They just don't have as much memory. So I could try running it on my other computer at some point, but it works well enough on this for the sake of doing live streams. So anyways, I'll upload this newer version of, and I'll still leave the old one up there for people who want to use the, who don't have a VRAM or don't want to have this kind of choppy frame rate. But I'll put the new Arnold on the Google Drive here in a minute, and I'll put the new 352 res Kate Blanchett on the Google Drive also. That'll take a little while to upload, but they'll be available here maybe like a half an hour after the stream ends. So if anybody wants to download and use these new models, they will be made available. I guess I do have just the one football highlights commented. It says 5 people are watching, but I'm not getting much interaction here, so I think I'll probably call it good for the night. Like I said, I've got to... oh, another thing I was working on before I go. I don't know how well it's going to come out, but I do have... Oh. I am doing that voice myself, Grizzlemus. That's not a voice audio thing. I do the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff myself. Like that was one of the reasons I was really kind of into doing. I'll go back to Arnold here real quick. I think I'll switch the model back. And one of the reasons I wanted to do Arnold Schwarzenegger in the first place was because I can do the voice pretty well. The other voice I can do pretty good is Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Less precious. It looks very strange to have Arnold do Gollum from Lord of the Rings, but we can do it pretty well, can't we, precious? So yeah, I can do those voices and switch between them without much trouble. I can do a couple other guys so-so. Sylvester Stallone I'm kind of okay at doing, but mostly just Arnold and Gollum. I don't know why I can do others very well. It's mostly just for fun. I watched a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger when I was a young child, and so I learned a lot of his voice. We were always making jokes and playing games and recording ourselves on cassette tape back in the day. See, I'm very old. I'm from I was born in 1980, and so we did not have CDs. Yeah. But it's fun now that I can do the voice in the face. I've completed my life. I don't need to do anything else. I can just retire now. Be Arnold Schwarzenegger on TV. I could pretend to be him everywhere. It's hilarious. Now I have to drink something. I'm losing my voice. I will also put up a Gal Gadot model here pretty soon. She's probably ready to upload any time. I need to train it against that RTM face set for a little bit, because the last thing I trained her on was Cora, and Cora has that blue skin, and it would look weird. I don't think it would work very well in Deepfacelab if I just immediately exported the model. I need to train it for like another day, maybe 2 days, with the RTM version 2 face set, and then she will kind of be generalized enough to work for everybody. I can get that one uploaded. The Gal Gadot model is very good. I think you guys will like it. There's lots of 4K footage of her. The Rock is going to be easy to do as well, because once again, there's very many movies he is in. He's very popular. And yeah, David, it's turned out very good, hasn't it? Yeah, the mouth especially, the teeth, the eyes work very well in all directions. I can make silly faces, and it doesn't matter, it works, you see. I look like an idiot. You think this is the real Quaid? It is. I love Arnold. Back in the day, I always watched Total Recall is one of my favorite movies of all time. Kindergarten Cop is hilarious. The Terminators, of course, are amazing. At least the first 2 are amazing. The third one, not so good. And after that, it pretty much became not canon for me. I was thinking maybe I should go back and try to do like a de-aging or something. I was going to do the CGI Terminator at some time and put over like the deepfake on the bad CGI Terminator in, Terminator Genesis. That movie is awful. It is terrible. And the CGI is not is not up to par as far as I'm concerned. So I could put, you know, this deepfake on that and solve that problem pretty easily. I'm still going to probably try to do, I have a Patrick Stewart head model that I showed you guys a while back. I need to upload that, actually. That's something I could upload and let you guys have to play around with. I meant to do that and I forgot. But I can put Patrick Stewart like into some CGI fixes or something. That will be fun. I was trying to do the X-Men movie where he meets Jean Grey, and it seems like it doesn't want to learn his hair. So there's some scenes where his head is turned to the side, and you can't. It's like it's just pixelated, kind of little bits of fluffy whiteness, but there's not very good sharpness on the hair. That is something kind of strange. I tried to try it different ways to see if it would improve it, and didn't really get any results. It was not learning it. From the front, it looks amazing. It's like it's really him, but from the sides, not so good. I made the Patrick Stewart model using footage from the first two movies that they did, the Next Generation movies. There was the one with the Borg, the First Contact, and before that is it's not Insurrection. I forget the name of it. It's the one with the Nexus, where they get stuck in the ribbon where they're happy forever, with Captain Kirk is in it. And so yeah, I made the Patrick Stewart model with two very nice Blu-ray rips, and it is wonderful. But yeah, it's First Contact, man. The Borg are they're like the Swedish cyborgs, you know, from Cyberpunk 2077, except for they're further in the future. It's like the year 2400 or something. I've never been there. I don't know. I don't want to go. I don't want to become a cyborg. I'm already, yeah, yeah. It's not good, man. We don't want that. They always get jabbed in the neck, and then they turn into robots, and then everybody goes crazy and tries to kill the crew of the Enterprise. They've had to kill many Borg. If Q would just show up, he could save them in 2 seconds, but no, there's no Q. He never shows up. And then we've got Hugh Jackman playing as freaking Captain Riker, fucking Commander Riker. Excuse me, my language. I have to watch my language or YouTube gets very angry. Excuse me, I need more to drink. This is very taxing my throat. Now that I have this fairly good model, I should start playing games as Arnold Schwarzenegger and do like my problem is I'm not very good at games. It's Druzel Tech in games, but really it should just be Druzel's Deepfakes or something, because I'm not very good at video games. But I was thinking it would be funny if I played like a first-person shooter, like that Predator hunting game or whatever the hell it was that they had out here recently, and you know, just like walk up on people and start doing the voice in their ear and watch the reactions. It'd be hilarious to record it and put it on YouTube. I don't know if people need to give consent for that sort of thing, but they don't care. I'm going to do it anyhow. Anyways, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any requests? Like I say, I know I'm going to be doing The Rock Johnson here soon. That is going to be a good one. There's much 4K footage of him. He's in all kinds of movies. There's a movie that just came out here recently called Red Notice. That is where I got some of the footage of Gal Gadot, because she's in there, and it's very good quality, very high fidelity 4K. I think it's on Netflix, but there's a lot of it on YouTube you can download, so I can get footage of The Rock from there. He is also in many other movies. If anybody has any suggestions for 4K movies that he was in that I could find and download or use otherwise, I know I probably own at least a couple of. I know he's in Hobbs and Shaw, and I have the 4K of that, but I'm not sure if I think he might have a beard in that or facial hair. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't do requests. Yeah, I freaking love that movie. What is it? Richard Dawkins. Is it Dawkins? That says something about drop dead. He goes, I'm sorry, I don't do requests, you bastard. Now you're going to die in the button. Sends him down to die in the Running Man zone. But then he explodes. He doesn't even get to run. He just blows up. It's useless. But it's funny. So, yeah. The Running Man is one of my favorite movies. That is also where I got a lot of this footage for Arnold Schwarzenegger, was The Running Man. Thank you for reminding me. So, I use that. There's a lot of good footage of that. It is in The Zone. There's a scene where he pulls down the camera and he says, I'm going to take this and I'm going to ram it in your stomach and break your goddamn spine. And then, he kind of destroys the camera. But there's like dark purple lighting and things, so I use that for this as well. So this should work pretty well in a lot of different lighting conditions. Might be very good, actually. I should try it at some point and see if it is reliable, test it out or something. I wonder what movies Arnold would be good in. I almost thought he'd be funny to put on Sam Flynn. Now football. This is me making the voice. This is me doing the voice, dude. There's no software. There is AI software to change your voice out there. Yeah, I've worked on it many years. It's very it's very impressive. I know. No, I worked on it for years. Yeah, sorry, football. There is different software to do that, and I did play around with it with a video I did here the other day. But the latency on it is like 4+ seconds, so you have to screw around with synchronizing it. And no, dude, it's just me. Just working on this. Been doing this voice for a long time. Like I said, I grew up watching The Predator and all that stuff, and all we did was sit around and do stupid Arnold Schwarzenegger voices. So, had to entertain ourselves somehow before the internet came out. Yeah, I've worked many years. It's not like it just happened overnight. I'm 42 years old, and I've probably been doing Arnold Schwarzenegger for at least 37 of those years. I've been spending much time. Very much time was wasted. But now it has come to fruition, and I can do this whenever I want to do it. It's hilarious. The people I work with, they are getting a little tired of it. I've kind of stopped doing it. Yeah, it is not something you can do overnight. I tried to learn Patrick Stewart. I'm not any good at Patrick Stewart at all. Like, I just mock it and try to screw it up because it's more fun to make it sound funny than when I'm really trying to do a good job. It does not come out well. I tried to do the tea Earl Grey hot, and Mr. Worf did not bring it. Instead, he fired photons at the Klingons because he misunderstood me, and so it did not work. Let's see. I do not use Machine Video Editor. I should, but I use their version of like the DFL fork. So I use like the MBE version of Deepface Lab, but I don't use their standalone software. I should, but I'm ultra lazy about such things. And I played with it for like 15 minutes like a year ago, and at the time I didn't have a lot of luck getting it to import everything and work quite right, and I kind of got, I don't know, I didn't have time really to put time into it. At that moment, I was like, I had to get up and go or something. I had something I was doing, and I didn't come back to it. It's one of those things where I've been meaning to, and I should. But for like 99.9% of the stuff that I do, or of the videos I try to do, you don't really need it. It's like it's useful for very unusual alignments. It is good for fixing like the mouth on certain characters. So it's like if the guy has a mustache, I've noticed it's like it'll think his mouth is open when it isn't. So like when you extract the face and it does the face alignment, there's like like this mouth, they call it a landmark, and the landmark will be wider than it should be because it thinks that the mustache is the upper lip. And so it has problems with certain people as well. Like Wesley Snipes, I've tried a bunch of times to use footage from the movie Blade. I wanted to put either like Lawrence Fishburne into that or Morgan Freeman, which would be hilarious to put in there. But unfortunately, it's like I say, it views his upper lip because Wesley Snipes has kind of a larger upper lip, and it thinks his mouth is open all the time, and so he kind of looks like this all the time. Even when he's really got a closed mouth, it thinks he's open, and it screws up everything. So you can manually, there's what they call like a high FPS mode when you extract faces using the manual extractor tool instead of doing it automatically. And I manually do a lot of them anyway, but if you do the high FPS mode, you can kind of fiddle around with it until it properly aligns the mouth. But you're talking about doing that like sometimes upwards of like 10,000 times, and that takes like 4 hours of manually doing that. It's kind of tedious, So I kind of haven't really made the strong effort to do footage with people who either, again, have like a mustache that kind of curls right over their mouth, or people who have kind of larger lips like that, because it just, especially it seems like people with darker skin like Snipes again, like it doesn't read the face 100% correctly, especially in dim light. It really struggles. And the movie Blade is all dim light scenarios. Like I wanted to do, there's like a nightclub scene right at the beginning. If you guys haven't seen Blade, I spoiler alert, but the movie's like 20 years old. So anyways, right at the beginning, pretty much, there's like this nightclub scene where he comes in and kills all these vampires. And, there's like quite a bit of lighting that's kind of cutting in and out. And I tried to do that scene a bunch of different times, and half of it, like, you can't extract. And then later, coincidentally, at a different nightclub, like, it's really kind of dark bluish lighting. It's like a strip club kind of place. And it's like it can't read his face even half the time, like, let alone the mouth getting it right. It just can't tell that the face is even there at all. So you can't even extract the face. And so that's the kind of stuff, if I really wanted to get off my ass and learn the machine video editor, you could just like copy and paste an extraction from the previous frame where it worked to the next one where it didn't, and then manually kind of align the landmarks. And so you can extract faces it normally can't extract. That's, I think, the best benefit to that. And then some X-segging. I think it can do things with X-seg that like normal Deepfacelab can't, but I've never really had an issue with any of that. It's just, like I say, those extreme conditions where you can't get the face to extract, or it's doing things with the mouth or funny alignments because of different facial features that you kind of would benefit from that software. It hasn't been a big enough draw for me to screw with it yet, but I should, I suppose. So shit. Like I said, what else am I doing? Like I said, I got Tron going. That's still going to be a little bit yet because I don't know. It's like that bluish tint light. It's weird how that kind of screws with everything. But it took quite a bit longer for Gan to finish training on Gal Gadot's character, Cora. When I was trying to train that, it took it quite a while to do that training, to relearn Gan. Like, I had to drop back to random warp for even to pick up the blue color in the first place with a darn. Like, when you try to train Gan against things that the model doesn't know, like, it can sometimes do it, but man, it'll take it a lot longer than it should. So it's sometimes easier just to go back to random warp. So that's what I did, and I trained it for a few days, and that's fine. And then when I went to Gan, it took kind of a while for it to get Gan relearned, even though I'd already done Gan on that model before. It picked it back up though eventually, and like I say, now that section's done. I've got the part with Godot completed. She looks really good in it, actually. It's just, like I say, now I got to do somebody on Flynn. I kind of thought Arnold would be funny to put on Sam Flynn, but he's like, this Arnold model is a little too old for that. I could have done like a younger one, I guess, but I would have to find more footage of him. So, and I wanted to do the Heath Ledger again, and I made the 320 of Heath. That's something else I got to get uploaded. Is my old model of Heath, I think, was 224 that I uploaded. So the Heath upload will come up here eventually as well, and that's looks really good. But it needs to be, like I said, I need to do it on the Sam Flynn character. Anyways, I'm kind of rambled on long enough here, gentlemen, ladies and gents. It's like 9 o'clock already, so I think I'm going to cut the stream at this point. Appreciate people stopping in and watching. Anybody who sees this afterwards, if you like the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. You can check the description. I will have the link to my Google Drive where all my Deepfacelab models are available. You can download and use them as you see fit. If you use them to make a video on YouTube, thank you, football. Thank you, David. Thank you, Grizzlemus Maximus, for coming by. Appreciate everybody that takes part in the video. That's good for the algorithm when people interact. So I was going to say, if anybody uses this stuff to make their own videos, obviously that's fine. That's why I'm supplying them. Use them as you see fit. If people use them in a video on YouTube, it'd be cool if they would, give me a little credit or something, just put it in the description or mention it in the video where you got the model or something, so maybe other people will stop by and watch the videos, so they too can go get access to the files. So appreciate everybody stopping by. Talk to you guys again real soon. Peace. See you. Have a good night and stuff,